Hey guys, tonight we're stepping back in time. Not to the gilded palaces of emperors, but to the vibrant, yet undeniably brutal, heart of ancient Mesoamerica. We're journeying into the world of the Aztecs, a civilization of incredible artistry, complex cosmology, and a profound, terrifying relationship with the gods. We're going to explore something deeply unsettling, yet central to their beliefs: the honor and the sheer horror of being an Aztec human sacrifice. Imagine yourself, not as an observer, but as the one chosen, the one destined to become a divine offering. You're about to experience a form of devotion that is utterly alien to modern sensibilities, a path to glory that few would willingly choose today. You probably wouldn't survive it, not in your wildest dreams. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know where you're listening from tonight and what time it is for you. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're running. The jungle air is thick and humid, heavy with the scent of damp earth and unseen blossoms. Your muscles burn, your lungs ache, but the shouts behind you are closer, relentless. You're a warrior, perhaps from a rival city-state, or a smaller, conquered tribe, caught in a border skirmish. This isn't a battle for territory or riches. Not truly. This is a flower war Xochiaoyotl, a ritualized conflict designed by the mighty Triple Alliance, the Aztecs of Tenochtitlan, the Acolwa of Texcoco, and the Tepanec of Tlacopan, specifically to capture sacrificial victims. And you, it seems, have just become one of them. The moment of your capture is a blur of flashing obsidian blades, the heavy thud of an atlatl dart striking the earth near your foot, and the crushing weight of multiple bodies tackling you to the ground. You fight, of course, with the ferocity of a trapped animal, but it's futile. Your weapons are stripped away, your arms bound tightly behind your back with coarse agave fiber, you're pulled roughly to your feet, your head forced back, and you see them, the faces of your captors. They are elite Aztec warriors, their bodies painted with fearsome designs, their feathered headdresses vibrant, their eyes gleaming with a chilling, almost reverent triumph. You are now a Malinali, a bound one, destined for a fate that is both horrifying and, in the Aztec worldview, profoundly honorable. For the Aztecs, warfare wasn't just about conquest. It was intrinsically linked to their religious beliefs. The gods, particularly the sun, god Huitzilopochtli, demanded sustenance, specifically human blood and hearts, to ensure the sun continued its daily journey across the sky and the cosmos remained in balance. Your capture isn't seen as a defeat in the way we understand it. It's a divine intervention, a sign that the gods have chosen you for a higher purpose. Your captors truly believe they are doing you a great service, offering you a path to glory, a chance to become one with the divine. It's a terrifying thought, isn't it? To be honored as you're led to your doom. The initial days of your captivity are a mix of exhaustion and a dawning, terrible realization. You are not immediately killed. Instead, you are treated differently from common prisoners. You are part of a special group, the Xiptla, the living images or representatives of the gods. You might be given more food, perhaps even a bit of pulque, the fermented agave drink, to dull your senses. Your wounds are tended to, not out of kindness, but to ensure you are a healthy, pristine offering. You are a valuable commodity, a sacred gift to the gods, and as such, you must be preserved. You are marched with your fellow captives, a somber procession through unfamiliar lands. You pass through bustling marketplaces, where the scent of roasted maize and exotic spices fills the air. People stare, their faces a mixture of awe, fear, and perhaps a strange reverence. Children point, their eyes wide. You are not mocked or reviled. You are recognized as someone marked by destiny. This public display, this procession through Aztec territory, is part of the ritual, allowing the populace to witness the procession of the chosen, reinforcing the power of their gods and their empire. It's a constant performative reminder of your impending fate. A common historical fact is that Aztec human sacrifice was practiced on a massive scale. While the exact numbers are still debated by historians, archaeological evidence, particularly at the Templo Mayor in Tenochtitlan, confirms that thousands of individuals were sacrificed over time. However, A lesser-known detail is that not all sacrifices were performed in the same way, nor were all victims treated identically. The treatment you receive, the rituals you undergo, depend heavily on which specific deity you are intended for, and on what occasion the sacrifice takes place. This shows a meticulous, almost bureaucratic, approach to sacrifice, tailored to the specific demands of the gods and the Aztec calendar. For example, if you are to be sacrificed to Zype Totec, the flayed lord, a god associated with fertility and renewal, your treatment might involve specific rituals, perhaps even special costumes, before the ultimate moment. Or if you are destined for Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, a god of wisdom and creation, the rituals might be more intellectual or contemplative. This highlights a complex theological system where each sacrifice was a precise, tailored act of devotion, not just a random killing. Historians still debate whether the variations in sacrificial rituals primarily reflected different theological interpretations of the god's needs, or if they were also influenced by political considerations and the need to assert imperial power over diverse conquered peoples. Your mind, despite the constant march, races, you try to recall the stories from your own village elders, tales of the powerful Aztecs and their insatiable gods. You recall the fear in your mother's eyes when the Aztec war drums sounded? Now you are caught in the very heart of that ancient, terrible power. The honor, your captors insist, is immense. You are not merely dying, you are becoming a conduit, a bridge between the mortal world and the divine. Your blood, your heart, will nourish the sun, ensuring the continuation of life itself. It's a terrifying philosophy, one that demands profound self-sacrifice for cosmic harmony. You begin to notice the landscape changing, becoming more cultivated, more densely populated. The air grows cooler, hinting at higher altitudes. You are drawing closer to the heart of the empire, to the vast basin of Mexico, where the city of Tenochtitlan, built on an island in the middle of a great lake, awaits. With every step, the realization of your destiny solidifies. You are a living offering, walking willingly or unwillingly towards the altar. The journey is not just physical, it is a spiritual ascent, a horrifying pilgrimage towards a sacred, terrifying purpose. You've been marching for what feels like an eternity. The rhythmic scuff of your sandals on the dusty paths, a constant reminder of your dire situation. The dense jungle has slowly given way to a more open, cultivated landscape, dotted with smaller villages and terraced fields. The air, once thick with humidity, now feels crisper, hinting at the higher altitude you're gaining with each painful step. And then you see it. Through a gap in the distant mountains, a shimmering spectacle rises from the vast, blue expanse of Lake Texcoco. This is Tenochtitlan, the awe-inspiring capital of the Aztec Empire, a city built on an island, a place of legend, and your ultimate destination. Imagine the sight that greets you. It's unlike anything you've ever witnessed. Not a city of stone and mortar on solid ground, but a sprawling metropolis of gleaming white stucco and vibrant murals, seemingly floating on the water. A network of broad causeways stretches across the lake, connecting the island to the mainland, bustling with canoes laden with goods and people. Towering above everything are the temple pyramids, their stepped sides rising majestically, topped by shrines painted in brilliant colors. The air carries the faint murmur of a million voices, the distant beat of drums and the acrid scent of copal incense, an omnipresent reminder of the gods. As you draw closer, the sheer scale of the city becomes overwhelming. You are marched along one of the main causeways, perhaps the Iztapalapa Causeway, a wide, perfectly straight road lined with smaller temples and residential compounds. The sheer volume of people is staggering. Merchants hawk their wares, priests in feathered robes pass by with solemn expressions, and warriors, like your captors, stride with an undeniable sense of purpose. You, the captive, are a spectacle, an object of intense curiosity, but also reverence. You are still the Ixiptla, the chosen one, walking towards your divine appointment. Entering the city proper, you pass through the mighty gates, leaving the relative calm of the causeway for the pulsating heart of Tenochtitlan. The streets are meticulously clean, swept daily by armies of workers. Canals crisscross the city, filled with smaller canoes, acting as watery avenues. The houses are mostly made of adobe or stone, but even the humblest dwellings boast small gardens and courtyards, reflecting the Aztec reverence for order and beauty. This is a city of intricate design, reflecting a highly organized society. Your destination, you quickly surmise, is the great temple precinct Templo Mayor, the spiritual and ceremonial heart of Tenochtitlan. It looms directly ahead, a massive complex dominated by the twin pyramids of Huitzilopochtli, the sun and war god, and Tlaloc, the rain and fertility god. Their red and blue shrines, respectively, stand out against the sky, stained perhaps by countless previous sacrifices. Around the Templo Mayor, you see other grand structures, the House of the Eagle Warriors, the skull-racked Tzompantli adorned with thousands of human skulls, and numerous smaller temples dedicated to a vast pantheon of deities. The sounds and smells of the city are intense. The constant chatter of Nahuatl, the dominant language, forms a complex symphony. The aroma of cooking food mixes with the pungent scent of copal incense, the earthy smell of damp volcanic rock, and, faintly, an unsettling metallic tang that you instinctively know is blood. The visual spectacle is just as rich, vibrant murals adorn temple walls. Intricate feathered mosaics gleam in the sun, and the colorful clothing of the populace creates a living tapestry. This is a highly sensory experience, designed to overwhelm and impress. You are not thrown into a dungeon. Instead, you are likely taken to a designated kalmakak or specific dwelling within the temple precinct, reserved for sacrificial victims. Here, your treatment takes on an even more peculiar form. You are bathed. Your hair might be cut or adorned in a specific way, and you are given new, clean clothing. You might be fed well, perhaps even given intoxicating substances like pulque or mushrooms, to calm your fears or alter your perception. This is not out of kindness, but to ensure you are a perfect, unblemished offering to the gods. You are being prepared, sanctified, for your ultimate purpose. This preferential treatment highlights a crucial aspect of Aztec belief: the victim was not simply a prisoner, but a sacred vessel. In some cases, a particularly esteemed captive, like you, might even be given the honor of living as an Ixiptla, a living deity, for a specific period, sometimes even a year. Imagine living a life of luxury and reverence, dressed in the garments of the god you are destined to become, attended by priests and servants, perhaps even allowed to wander certain parts of the city. This seems like a strange twist, a macabre form of honor, doesn't it? But it served a profound religious purpose, allowing the people to interact with their gods through a human embodiment, before the ultimate necessary sacrifice. This practice also highlights a common historical debate. Historians still debate whether the privileged treatment of some sacrificial victims truly mitigated their fear of death, or if it intensified the psychological burden of their impending doom. This period of honored captivity is an integral part of the ritual. It allows time for the captive to be purified, to absorb the essence of the god, and to be presented to the populace as a living manifestation of divine will. You would be taught the prayers, perhaps even some of the songs dedicated to the god. You would be paraded through the city on certain feast days, receiving the adoration of the populace, a chilling prelude to your final moments. This is a performative aspect of your existence, a living ritual played out for the entire empire. You observe the priests. Their bodies are often smeared with black soot, their hair matted with dried blood from previous sacrifices. They move with an air of profound solemnity, their eyes holding a distant, almost trance-like quality. They are the intermediaries, the ones who commune directly with the gods, and they are the ones who will ultimately perform the sacred act. Their presence is a constant, grim reminder of your purpose. You notice their tools, the polished obsidian blades, gleaming with a cold, predatory beauty, always present, always within sight. Your mind struggles to reconcile the grandeur and beauty of this city with the horrifying purpose for which you are being prepared. The intricate featherwork, the melodic sounds of flutes and drums, the vibrant colors of the market, all coexist with the chilling reality of human sacrifice. This juxtaposition of beauty and brutality is fundamental to understanding the Aztec worldview. For them, these were not contradictory elements, but two sides of the same sacred coin. You are now truly within the heart of the Aztec world, a living sacrifice awaiting your moment of divine ascension. The journey to Tenochtitlan has ended, But the most profound and terrifying part of your odyssey is yet to begin. You've arrived in Tenochtitlan, the gleaming heart of the Aztec Empire, and the initial awe of the floating city has given way to the unsettling reality of your situation. You are not a common prisoner, destined for immediate execution. Instead, you are being treated with a disturbing, almost reverential care. This is the paradoxical life as a honored captive, a chilling prelude to your ultimate purpose, a period of existence that blurs the lines between prisoner and deity. Imagine yourself now not in a squalid cell, but in a clean, perhaps even comfortable chamber within the temple precinct. You are bathed regularly, perhaps even ritually purified with incense and sacred water. Your hair might be adorned with feathers or painted with specific designs, marking you as a special individual. You are clothed in fine cotton garments, possibly even robes woven with intricate patterns, distinct from the simple loincloths of ordinary captives. This isn't generosity in the way you understand it, it's meticulous preparation. You are being groomed, sanctified, for your role as a divine vessel. Your diet is markedly different from the scant rations of other prisoners. You are fed well, perhaps even sumptuously. You might receive bowls of pozole, a rich stew made with hominy and meat, or tortillas filled with beans and vegetables. Fruits, fresh from the fertile lands around the lake, are offered. Sometimes you might even be given chocolatl, a bitter, frothy drink made from cacao, reserved for nobles and warriors. Its stimulating properties intended to prepare you mentally. This sustenance ensures you are physically strong and healthy, a perfect offering without blemish. The Aztecs believed the gods deserved nothing less than the best, and that included their human sacrifices. During this period, you are often visited by priests, tlamatcasque. They are not cruel in their demeanor, but solemn, methodical. They speak to you in Nahuatl, explaining your destined role, reinforcing the cosmic significance of your impending sacrifice. They might tell you stories of the gods, particularly the deity you are destined to embody or nourish. They emphasize the great honor you are being afforded, the vital role your heart and blood will play in sustaining the sun and preventing the end of the world. While terrifying, this narrative offers a strange form of psychological comfort, transforming your death from a meaningless end into a pivotal cosmic event. You might be taught specific songs, chants, or even dances associated with the god you are to represent. These aren't casual lessons, they are rehearsals for your ultimate performance. You would be expected to participate, to embody the divine, to play your role convincingly. This performative aspect of your existence is crucial. You are not just a victim, you are an actor in a sacred drama, a living conduit through which the divine will manifest. This intense psychological immersion, this constant reinforcement of your sacred status, further blurs the lines of your captivity. One particularly striking and horrifying example of this honored captive status is the Tezcatlipoca sacrifice. If you were chosen to be the Exiptla impersonator of Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror god, your life for an entire year leading up to the sacrifice would be one of extraordinary luxury and reverence. You would be dressed in the finest clothes, adorned with jewels, and given 8 attendants. You would wander the streets of Tenochtitlan, playing a flute, smoking tobacco, and being revered as the living embodiment of a god. 4 beautiful women, impersonating goddesses, would even be given to you as companions. For an entire year, you would live as a god on earth. Before your terrifying, yet ritualistically perfect end, this specific detail highlights a common historical debate. Historians still debate whether the privileged treatment of certain sacrificial victims, especially those impersonating gods like Tezcatlipoca, was a genuine attempt to provide comfort and honor, or a sophisticated form of psychological manipulation designed to make them complicit in their own sacrifice. It's a profound question about free will and cultural conditioning in the face of an absolute religious imperative. Was the illusion of freedom and luxury a kindness, or the cruelest trick of all? You witness the daily life of the priests and temple attendants. You see them engaged in acts of self-sacrifice, piercing their own ears, tongues, and genitalia with agave thorns, drawing blood as an offering to the gods. This constant display of self-mutilation, performed for religious devotion, reinforces the idea that sacrifice in various forms is a fundamental aspect of Aztec piety. It implicitly communicates that your ultimate sacrifice is merely the highest form of this universal devotion. During this period, you are also likely subject to public displays. You might be paraded through the city during religious festivals, a living testament to the power of the Aztec Empire and its gods. Crowds would gather, chanting prayers, throwing flowers, and offering reverence. You are not just a prisoner, you are a spectacle, a symbol of divine choice and imperial might. This public performance serves to legitimize the practice of human sacrifice, embedding it deeply within the collective consciousness of the Aztec people. Another less commonly known detail about the preparation of sacrifices relates to dietary restrictions or enrichments. For some sacrifices, victims might be fed specific foods or drinks thought to enhance their spiritual purity, or prepare their blood and heart for divine consumption. This could include a diet rich in maize and beans for sustenance, or perhaps specific herbal infusions designed to cleanse the body or induce certain mental states. These meticulous details underscore the Aztec belief that every aspect of the sacrifice, down to the very biochemistry of the victim, needed to be perfect for the gods. The concept of your honor is constantly reiterated. You are not dying in vain, you are dying for the sun, for the rain, for the very continuation of the cosmos. Your death is not an ending, but a transformation, a merging with the divine. This pervasive religious narrative, while terrifying, offers a framework for understanding and accepting your fate. It's a powerful cultural indoctrination that, for many, perhaps even for you, might begin to subtly shift your perception from pure horror to a resigned, almost spiritual acceptance. As your time as an honored captive progresses, you become increasingly aware of the rhythm of the Aztec calendar, each day bringing you closer to a specific festival, a particular deity's feast day, and ultimately, your own moment of apotheosis. The luxury, the reverence, the constant reminders of your sacred purpose, they all serve to prepare you, not just physically, but spiritually, for the terrifying honor that awaits you on the altar. The days blur into weeks, perhaps even months, during your time as an honored captive in Tenochtitlan. The initial terror has perhaps dulled into a grim acceptance, a resignation to a fate that the entire Aztec world deems both sacred and inevitable. Your comfortable chamber, the rich food, the deferential priest all serve as a chilling countdown, each passing sunrise bringing you closer to your ultimate purpose. This is the calendar's unrelenting march, a period defined by ritual anticipation and the pervasive awareness of your approaching, horrifying honor. Imagine the Aztec calendar itself, a complex and intricate system that governed every aspect of their lives, from agricultural cycles to religious festivals. It wasn't just a way to track time, it was a sacred roadmap, guiding the interactions between humans and gods. You'd become acutely aware of its rhythms, the passing of the 260-day sacred calendar Tonalpohualli and the 365-day solar calendar Seuhpohualli. Each specific day, each festival, was dedicated to particular deities. And your sacrifice, you instinctively understand, is tied to one of these auspicious dates. The priests around you speak of these cycles constantly, their incantations and prayers marking the passage of time towards your designated moment. You might witness numerous smaller ceremonies within the temple precinct during this period. You'd see priests engaged in self-mutilation, piercing their ears or tongues with obsidian blades or stingray spines, offering their own blood as a minor sacrifice. You'd observe the burning of copal incense, the rhythmic chanting, and the elaborate dances performed by priests and warriors. These rituals, while not directly involving you yet, serve to immerse you further into the Aztec worldview, reinforcing the pervasive belief in the necessity of sacrifice to maintain cosmic order. It's a continuous, immersive education in the grim realities of their faith. During this waiting period, your physical condition is meticulously monitored. You are kept healthy, your skin unblemished, your body strong. This is not for your comfort, but to ensure you are a perfect vessel, an unmarred offering to the gods. You might be led to sweat baths to Mazcal, purifying your body with steam and herbs. Your nails might be trimmed, your hair kept clean and adorned. Every aspect of your physical being is considered, prepared to be worthy of the divine. This constant scrutiny, this relentless perfection, only heightens the awareness of your impending fate. One fascinating, often overlooked detail is the psychological preparation that some captives underwent. While forced, the Aztecs aimed for willing participation, or at least outward compliance, in the final act. Priests would engage you in theological discussions, reinforcing the concept of your glorious role in sustaining the cosmos. They might tell you stories of brave warriors from rival tribes who, when captured, embraced their destiny and died with immense courage, achieving eternal glory in the afterlife. This subtle indoctrination, combined with the comfortable living conditions, was designed to break down resistance and cultivate a sense of honor around your sacrifice. You might also be involved in mock battles or ceremonial ball games, designed to showcase your physical prowess. These aren't just games. They are part of the ritualized glorification of the warrior sacrifice. Winning these contests might even earn you temporary privileges, further reinforcing the idea that you are a celebrated figure, not merely a helpless victim. This element of ritualized competition adds another layer of complexity to your honored captivity. Blurring the lines between a prisoner and a revered participant, a common historical fact often emphasized is the sheer scale of Aztec sacrifices. While records and archaeological findings point to thousands of sacrifices, what's less known is that the act of sacrifice was considered a profoundly sacred and scientific endeavor. The precise timing of sacrifices, the specific deities involved, and the careful selection of victims were all based on complex astronomical observations and a deep understanding of their intricate calendrical system. Your death is not random, it is meticulously planned, timed to perfection according to divine cycles. For instance, the new fire ceremony, performed every 52 years when the two calendars aligned, was a monumental event. If you were chosen for a sacrifice during such a ceremony, your death would be considered of paramount importance, ensuring the sun would rise for another 52 years and the world would not end. Imagine the immense weight of such a responsibility, the terror mixed with a strange, almost divine sense of purpose. This highlights a crucial academic debate. Historians still debate whether the Aztec emphasis on precise calendrical timing for sacrifices was primarily driven by genuinely held astronomical and religious beliefs, or if it also served as a powerful tool for social control and the reinforcement of imperial authority. You observe the city around you, its life flowing on, seemingly oblivious to your personal drama. Merchants haggle in the bustling market of Tlatelolco, artisans craft intricate featherwork, and farmers tend their chinampas, the floating gardens that feed the vast population. Yet underlying all this daily activity is the constant, unspoken understanding of the sacrifices that fuel their world. Every successful harvest, every victorious battle, every sunrise, all are attributed to the lifeblood offered on the altars. You are part of this grand, terrifying bargain. As the designated date draws nearer, the atmosphere around you intensifies. The rituals become more frequent, the chanting louder, the smell of incense thicker. You might be dressed in the full regalia of the god you represent, transformed into a living icon. The priests treat you with even greater reverence, their solemnity tinged with an almost palpable anticipation. Your time as an honored captive is drawing to its inevitable, horrifying, yet sacred conclusion. You are ready, or perhaps resigned, to fulfill your destiny. The relentless march of the calendar has brought you to the precipice of your destiny. The period of honored captivity is drawing to a close, and the rituals intensify, preparing you, body and soul, for your ultimate role. This is the preparation for the gods, a series of profound and often unsettling ceremonies designed to purify you, to transform you from a mere mortal into a perfect, sacred offering. Imagine the atmosphere. The sounds of chanting become more pervasive, echoing through the temple precinct. The air grows thick with the sweet, pungent smoke of burning copal incense, used to purify and dedicate everything to the divine. You are no longer just eating well. Your diet might now be meticulously controlled, perhaps even limited to specific, ritually pure foods, intended to cleanse your inner being. You might be given more pulque, the fermented agave drink, or even hallucinogenic mushrooms, not necessarily to make you docile, but to induce altered states of consciousness, to open your mind to the spiritual journey you are about to embark upon. The Aztecs believed these substances could facilitate communication with the divine, allowing you to bridge the gap between worlds. You undergo a series of ritual baths, not just for physical cleanliness, but for spiritual purification. Priests, often adorned with symbolic paint and elaborate headdresses, guide you through these ceremonies. You might be washed with water infused with specific herbs or rubbed with special clays, each step meticulously designed to remove any lingering impurities and make you truly sacred. This is a profound physical and psychological process, a final preparation before you face the divine. One of the most striking aspects of this preparation is the dressing and adornment. You are no longer wearing simple cotton robes. You are dressed in the full regalia of the god you are meant to embody or appease. This could include elaborate featherwork, intricately woven cotton garments, precious jade jewelry, or even face paint that mimics the iconography of the deity. Imagine the weight of a magnificent Quetzal feather headdress on your head, its vibrant green plumage shimmering in the sun, a stunning symbol of divine connection. This transformation isn't just cosmetic, it's symbolic, visually proclaiming your sacred status to the entire Aztec populace. You are becoming the Exiptla, the living image of the god. During these final days, you might be paraded through the central square of Tenochtitlan, the bustling Great Plaza. Thousands of people would gather, their faces a mixture of reverence, awe, and perhaps a touch of fear. They would chant, pray, and offer their own humble reverence to you, the living embodiment of the divine. This public display serves multiple purposes. It reminds the populace of the god's demands, reinforces the power of the Aztec state, and allows the community to participate in the sacred journey of the sacrifice. You are a spectacle, a living sermon, your every move observed. A lesser-known, yet deeply significant, detail of this preparation is the ritual of the flute breaking for the Tezcatlipoca sacrifice. If you were the chosen Exiptla for Tezcatlipoca, after a year of living as a god, you would, in your final moments before ascending the temple, deliberately break your flutes one by one on the steps. Each broken flute symbolized the end of your earthly life, your transformation from a human embodying a god to a pure offering. This act, both poignant and symbolic, highlights the psychological journey the captive was expected to undertake, embracing their fate. It makes you wonder how many truly embraced it. You might also be involved in the final ritual dances or ceremonial processions leading to the temple. These are not joyous dances, but solemn, rhythmic movements, often accompanied by the haunting sounds of drums, conch shells, and clay flutes. You move with purpose, your steps perhaps feeling both heavy with dread and light with a strange, almost spiritual, detachment. The energy of the crowd, their unwavering belief, is palpable, a force that both intimidates and, perhaps strangely, carries you along. A common historical fact is that human sacrifice was considered absolutely essential to the Aztecs for the sustenance of the cosmos. However, a less discussed aspect is the meticulous care with which the victims were selected and prepared, often years in advance, particularly for the most significant sacrifices. This wasn't a casual act. It was a highly organized, deeply theological process that required considerable planning and resources. Your presence here is the culmination of a long, deliberate process by the Aztec priesthood. This raises a crucial academic debate. Historians still debate whether the extensive and meticulous preparation of sacrificial victims was primarily driven by theological purity and a desire for the perfect offering, or if it also served a practical purpose in psychologically conditioning the victims and the populace to accept the necessity and honor of the sacrifice. As the designated day dawns, the final preparations are made. Your body, cleansed and adorned, feels lighter, almost ethereal. The chanting outside grows louder, more insistent. The air is cold in the pre-dawn darkness, but the fire of copal incense warms your skin. You are ready. You have been prepared, purified, and presented. The terrifying honor awaits, and the steps of the Templo Mayor beckon. The moment has arrived. The preparation is complete. The rituals performed, and the calendar's relentless march has delivered you to the very foot of the Templo Mayor, the sacred heart of Tenochtitlan. This is the ascent of the Templo Mayor, a journey that is both physical and profoundly spiritual, leading you to the terrifying honor that awaits atop the colossal pyramid. Imagine the sheer scale of it. The Templo Mayor rises majestically before you, a colossal stepped pyramid. Its twin shrines dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and sun, and Tlaloc, the god of rain and fertility piercing the sky. Its steep, unforgiving stairs, likely stained dark from countless previous ceremonies, seem to stretch endlessly upwards, a stairway to the heavens. The air vibrates with the rhythmic thrum of drums, the Taponasli slit drums and Huahuetl vertical drums, their deep, resonant beats echoing across the great plaza. The sound is primal, inescapable, a percussive march towards your destiny. You are not alone. You are part of a procession, perhaps several other captives, all adorned in the sacred garments you now wear. You are flanked by solemn-faced priests, their bodies painted black, their long, matted hair interwoven with symbolic fibers. They chant in low, guttural tones, their voices joining the cacophony of the drums and the fervent prayers of the vast crowd below. The sheer volume of people is staggering. Thousands upon thousands fill the plaza, their upturned faces a sea of anticipation and devotion. They are here to witness the vital act, to ensure the sun continues its journey, to sustain their world. As you begin the ascent, your bare feet find purchase on the rough stone steps. The climb is arduous, particularly given the steep incline. Each step is a deliberate, agonizing effort, bringing you higher and higher above the bustling city. Below, the city of Tenochtitlan stretches out, a sprawling mosaic of canals, causeways, and gleaming white buildings. A breathtaking view that simultaneously reminds you of the life you are leaving behind and the vastness of the empire for which you are sacrificing. The climb is designed to be both physically demanding and psychologically intense. With every step, you are leaving the earthly realm behind, ascending towards the divine. The sound of the drums intensifies, becoming a relentless beat that seems to synchronize with your own pounding heart. The chanting of the priests and the crowd swells around you, a powerful, hypnotic chorus that fills your ears and vibrates through your very bones. You might feel a strange detachment, a sense of unreality, as if you are merely an instrument in a much larger cosmic drama. One of the most striking details of this ascent is the processional pace. This isn't a hurried rush, it's a deliberate, slow climb, a ritualized movement designed to build tension and allow the populace to witness every agonizing step of the victim's journey. The priests might periodically pause, allowing the drums to swell, amplifying the sense of profound reverence and inevitability. This controlled pace means you have time to contemplate every step, every breath, every beat of your heart as you approach the summit. As you near the top, the wind, if any, whips around you, carrying the scent of copal smoke and, now more distinctly, the metallic tang of fresh blood from previous, recent sacrifices. The air is thinner, colder. You can see the sacrificial stone tech cattle on the summit, a dark, ominous slab, gleaming faintly under the morning light. Beside it stand the executioner priests, their obsidian blades gleaming ominously, their faces impassive. A common historical fact is that the Aztecs believed their gods required human sacrifice to survive, and that the sun, in particular, would die without the nourishment of human hearts and blood. However, a less commonly discussed aspect is the architectural design of the Templo Mayor itself, which amplified the theatricality and psychological impact of the sacrifice. The steep, narrow steps forced the victim to climb with their chest thrust forward in a vulnerable position, and ensured that everyone in the plaza below could clearly witness the ascending procession and, ultimately, the final act at the summit. The twin shrines also played a role. One side was for Huitzilopochtli, the other for Tlaloc, signifying the dual nature of their most important deities' war and reign, destruction and creation both requiring sacrifice. This architectural choice highlights a crucial academic debate. Historians still debate whether the dramatic visual impact of the Templo Mayor's design for public sacrifice was primarily a reflection of deeply held religious beliefs and cosmic necessity, or if it also served as a powerful tool for social control, instilling awe and fear in the populace and reinforcing the absolute power of the Aztec state. It's a profound question about the interplay of religion and power in ancient societies. Finally, you reach the summit. The vast expanse of the city below seems to shrink, becoming an abstract pattern. The crowd is a distant roar. All that matters now is the altar, the priests, and the sky. You are at the very pinnacle of the Aztec world. At the threshold of the divine, the sounds of drums reach a fever pitch, a crescendo that marks the ultimate climax of this horrifying, yet sacred ascent. Your journey up the sacred mountain has ended. The final act, the horrifying honor, is now upon you. You stand at the summit of the Templo Mayor, the wind whipping around you, the roar of the crowd a distant, yet palpable force below. The arduous climb is over. All that remains now is the altar's edge, the culmination of your horrifying journey, the moment where your life will become the most sacred offering imaginable to the Aztec gods. Imagine the scene directly before you. Dominating the summit is the tecatl, the sacrificial stone. It's not a mere slab, it's often curved, designed to arch the victim's chest, making the heart more accessible. Its surface is dark, perhaps gleaming faintly from the morning sun, but more ominously, stained with the dried, dark residue of countless previous sacrifices. The air at the summit is thick with the metallic tang of blood and the sweet, heavy scent of copal incense, a potent mix that assaults your senses. Around the altar stand the executioner priests, the Tlenamakak. They are figures of solemn, terrifying authority. Their hair is long and matted, often with dried blood. Their bodies painted black or with symbolic designs. They wear ritual garments, sometimes adorned with feathers or symbols of the gods. In their hands, they hold the gleaming obsidian blades, razor-sharp and designed for a swift, precise cut. These aren't just knives, they are sacred instruments, extensions of the divine will. Their faces are impassive, betraying no emotion, only a focused, ritualistic intensity. You are approached by 4 of these priests, who take hold of your limbs. Another priest, the one wielding the blade, positions himself over your chest. You are laid flat on the tecatl, your back pressed against the cold. Hard stone, your chest arched upwards by its curve. The position is deliberate, designed to expose your heart for the ultimate offering. You feel the rough texture of the stone beneath you, the firm grip of the priest on your arms and legs. There is no escape, no struggle possible now. Your body, once your own, is now entirely a vessel for the sacred act. The drums reach a fever pitch, a deafening, insistent rhythm that pounds in your ears. The chanting of the priests intensifies, their voices rising in a climactic crescendo. You might catch a final glimpse of the vast sky above, or the distant, shimmering lake of Tenochtitlan below, before your vision narrows, focusing solely on the priest poised above you. Then comes the moment of the obsidian blade. The Itztli, a blade made from volcanic glass, is incredibly sharp, capable of making a swift, deep incision. The priest, with practiced precision, plunges the blade into your chest, a quick, forceful movement. You feel the searing pain, sharp and immediate, as the blade severs muscle and bone. This is followed by a chilling, visceral sensation as your chest is opened. The ultimate goal is the heart yolitl. The priest reaches in, his hand swiftly locating and severing the major arteries and veins, then pulls the still beating heart from your chest. It is a rapid, horrifying act, performed with a ritualistic purpose that transcends any earthly notion of cruelty. The heart, still pulsing, is then lifted high towards the sun, offered directly to Huitzilopochtli, the sun god, as the ultimate nourishment. Your life force, your essence, is now given to sustain the cosmos. A common historical fact is the central role of the heart in Aztec human sacrifice. However, a lesser-known, yet incredibly vivid detail is the Aztec belief that the heart was not just a pump, but the seat of yolitl, of vital energy or soul stuff that contained an individual's vitality and strength. By offering the still-beating heart to the sun god, the Aztecs believed they were providing Huitzilopochtli with the necessary energy to continue his daily journey across the sky, ensuring that the world would not descend into darkness and chaos. Your dying act, therefore, is seen as the highest form of cosmic responsibility. As your heart is offered, a new sound might rise from the crowd below, a collective gasp, then a roar of approval, a profound exhalation of relief and renewed faith. They have witnessed the ultimate devotion, the continuation of the sacred cycle. Your sacrifice is complete, and in their eyes, the gods are appeased. Your body, now lifeless, is treated with ritualistic care, even in death. It might be immediately pushed down the steep steps of the Templo Mayor, tumbling to the base, where other priests or attendants await, or, depending on the specific ritual, it might be carried down more carefully. This descent is a final public spectacle, a confirmation of the complete offering. Historians still debate whether the immediate removal of the heart was primarily for theological reasons to offer the very essence of life to the gods, or if it was also a highly efficient method of execution that left no doubt about the victim's death, thereby solidifying the political power of the Aztec state through terrifying displays. This academic discussion delves into the intertwined nature of Aztec religion and political control. Your sacrifice, though brutal to modern sensibilities, is, in the Aztec worldview, an act of supreme honor. You have become a conduit, a bridge between humanity and the divine. Your blood nourishes the earth, your heart feeds the sun, and your life ensures the continuation of the cosmos. For the Aztecs, there is no greater purpose, no more glorious end than to become the ultimate offering to the gods. Your horrifying journey culminates in this final, terrifying yet deeply sacred a moment. The chilling finality of the altar, the piercing of the obsidian blade, and the lifting of your still-beating heart to the sun god marks the climax of your terrifying honor. But for the Aztecs, the ritual of sacrifice did not end with death. Your body, even in its lifeless state, became part of a continuing sacred ceremony, the post-sacrifice rituals. A series of meticulous acts designed to fully integrate your offering into the cosmic cycle and ensure the complete appeasement of the gods. Imagine your body having tumbled down the steep steps of the Templo Mayor, now resting at its base. Here, it is met by a new group of priests or temple attendants, depending on the specific deity you were sacrificed to, and the precise ritual being observed. Your body might undergo further processing. This was not a disrespectful act. Rather, it was a continuation of the reverence, ensuring every part of the offering served its divine purpose. One of the most common and profoundly significant post-sacrifice rituals involved decapitation and the display of the skull. Your head, now separated from your body, might be meticulously cleaned of flesh and then placed on the zompantli, the skull rack. Imagine rows upon rows of skulls, impaled on wooden poles, gleaming whitely in the sun. The zompantli was not merely a gruesome display. It was a powerful architectural and religious statement. It symbolized the collective power of the Aztec state and the unceasing devotion to their gods. Each skull represented a life given to sustain the cosmos, a visual testament to the hundreds, even thousands of sacrifices that had occurred. This practice highlights a common historical fact: the widespread use of skull racks by the Aztecs and other Mesoamerican cultures. However, a lesser-known detail is that the skulls were often ritually prepared. They might be painted, adorned with feathers, or have specific symbols carved into them, further integrating them into the sacred landscape of the temple precinct. The sheer scale of some zompantli, like the massive one discovered near the Templo Mayor, containing not just male warriors but women and children, offers a chilling testament to the diverse nature of Aztec sacrifice and the constant demand for offerings. Your remaining body parts, particularly the limbs, might be taken to specific areas. For the most important sacrifices, especially those dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, the body would sometimes be dismembered. The torso, after the heart was removed, might be discarded or offered in a different way. The limbs, however, played a role in another, even more unsettling, ritual. Consider the ceremonial consumption of flesh tiokwalo. For some sacrifices, particularly those involving captive warriors, parts of the body, usually the limbs, might be ritually cooked and consumed by the captor and his family, or by the elite warrior societies. This was not an act of cannibalism for sustenance in the modern sense. It was a deeply symbolic and religious act. By consuming the flesh of a brave warrior, the Aztecs believed they were absorbing their courage, their spiritual essence, and reinforcing the bond between the human and divine. It was a terrifying form of communion, a way to internalize the power of the sacrificed. Imagine the captor, the warrior who took you alive, now participating in this grim feast. For him, it's the ultimate validation of his prowess, a completion of the sacred hunt. Your flesh, consumed in this ritual, becomes part of the very community that offered you a final, horrifying integration into the Aztec cosmos. This practice, while shocking, was rooted in a complex religious framework where the human body, even in death, served as a conduit for divine energy. Historians still debate whether the ritualistic consumption of human flesh by the Aztecs was primarily a deeply spiritual act of communion with the divine and absorption of warrior prowess, or if it also served as a powerful form of psychological warfare and social control, demonstrating absolute dominance over conquered peoples. This academic discussion delves into the multifaceted motivations behind such a disturbing practice. Beyond the physical disposition of your remains, your sacrifice had profound societal implications. Your death, publicly witnessed, reinforced the power of the priesthood, the might of the Aztec state, and the unwavering belief in the gods. It was a spectacular display of devotion, meant to awe, inspire, and perhaps instill fear in both the populace and any potential enemies. It solidified the social order, reminding everyone of their place in the cosmic hierarchy and the necessity of upholding the sacred balance through sacrifice. Even after your physical body was dispersed, your spiritual essence was believed to continue its journey. If you were a brave warrior, your soul might ascend to join the sun, accompanying Huitzilopochtli on his daily journey across the sky. A glorious afterlife reserved for those who died in battle or on the sacrificial stone. This promise of an honorable afterlife was a powerful motivator, transforming a terrifying death into a path to eternal glory. Your ultimate fate, then, was not merely death, but a transformation, a dissolution of your individual being into the larger Aztec cosmos. Your body contributed to the physical landscape of the temple precinct. Your skull became part of the Tzompantli, and your essence fueled the gods. You became part of the cycle, a link in the cosmic chain, ensuring the continuation of the world for the Aztec people. Your horrifying honor, therefore, stretched far beyond the final breath. Your journey through the horrifying honor of Aztec human sacrifice has brought us through capture, the terrifying trek to Tenochtitlan, the unsettling period of honored captivity, and the chilling rituals of your ultimate demise and the immediate aftermath. Now we delve into one of the most viscerally disturbing, yet ritually significant, aspects of post-sacrifice practices, the Feast of Flesh. This was not an act of starvation-driven cannibalism, but a deeply symbolic, highly ritualized consumption that revealed profound, unsettling layers of Aztec cosmology and social order. Imagine the atmosphere at the base of the Templo Mayor, after your heart has been offered and your body sent down the steps. For many, particularly those sacrificed to Huitzilopochtli as brave warriors, the body was then taken to specific locations within the temple precinct, or perhaps to the homes of the warriors who captured you. Here, the process of dismemberment would often occur. The limbs were typically the parts used for the feast, while the torso might be given to certain animals or dedicated in other ways. And the head, as we discussed, destined for the Tzompantli. This practice, known as Tiokualo or God's eating, was not a common everyday meal. It was a sacred communion, a strictly controlled ritual performed only by specific individuals. The primary participants were often the warriors who had captured the victim, their families, and sometimes members of elite warrior societies or high-ranking priests. It was seen as the culmination of the warrior's prowess, a powerful act that brought them into direct, physical contact with the essence of their brave captive. The preparation of the flesh was also ritualized. It would be cooked, usually boiled, often with maize corn, to create a stew known as tlacatloli or pozole. This was not a quick, haphazard affair, but a deliberate culinary act, imbued with sacred meaning. The maize in the stew was symbolic, representing the flesh of the gods and the sustenance of humanity itself. By consuming the flesh of the sacrificed, the Aztecs believed they were absorbing the vital spiritual energy, the courage, and the life force of the brave warrior. It was a way to internalize the power of the offering, to make it part of themselves, thereby strengthening their own spiritual and physical being. Imagine sitting among these warriors, perhaps in the home of your captor. The steam rises from the bowls of stew, the aroma of cooked meat and maize filling the air. For them, this is a moment of triumph, of divine connection. For you, were you able to observe? It would be the ultimate act of bodily appropriation, a final, horrifying consumption that cemented your role as a total offering. This practice served as a powerful psychological reinforcement for the warriors, proving their valor and connecting them intimately with the sacred cycle of warfare and sacrifice? One common historical truth is that European conquistadors and later chroniclers documented Aztec cannibalism, often with a tone of horror and condemnation. However, a lesser-known detail is that this consumption was highly selective and ritually constrained, distinct from cannibalism driven by starvation. It was not indiscriminate, it was almost always limited to the flesh of valiant enemy warriors, and typically only the limbs, believed to contain their vital essence. It was an act of extreme reverence for the strength and courage of the defeated foe, absorbing their qualities rather than simply consuming sustenance. This nuanced understanding is crucial to avoiding anachronistic moral judgments. This ritualistic consumption also served as a profound form of social control and psychological warfare. For the Aztecs, the prospect of their own warriors being ritually consumed by the enemy was a terrifying thought. But for the vanquished, it was the ultimate humiliation, a complete erasure of their identity, their very being absorbed into the conqueror's world. Conversely, for the Aztec populace, seeing their warriors partake in this feast reinforced their dominance, their martial prowess, and the favor of their gods. Historians still debate whether the Aztec practice of ritual cannibalism teoqualo was primarily a deeply spiritual act of communion and absorption of vital essence, or if its public and symbolic nature also served as a potent political tool for demonstrating military dominance and terrifying subjugated populations. This academic discussion highlights the intertwined nature of religious belief, military strategy, and psychological impact in Aztec society. The Feast of Flesh was also a reminder of the continuous cycle of life, death, and renewal that permeated Aztec cosmology. Just as maize was planted, died, and gave new life, so too was human life offered to ensure the continuation of the cosmos. Your death and the subsequent ritual was part of this grand, terrifying cycle, a necessary act to maintain the delicate balance of the universe. For the participants, it was an intimate connection to the divine. For the sacrificial victim, it was the final, horrifying step in a journey that began with capture and ended with the complete integration of their being into the Aztec world order, both physically and spiritually. Your body, once your own, was now consumed, transformed, and absorbed into the very fabric of the empire that had claimed you. You have endured the terrifying honor of Aztec human sacrifice. From the moment of your capture to the grim spectacle of your ritual demise and the unsettling post-sacrifice ceremonies, we have explored a world where life, death, and divinity were inextricably linked, where honor was found in cosmic necessity, and where the human body served as the ultimate offering. Now, as our journey concludes, let's reflect on the profound and enduring meaning of your sacrifice, a legacy etched in stone for the Aztec world and for our understanding of this powerful ancient civilization. Imagine the vast, sprawling city of Tenochtitlan continuing its vibrant existence long after your life was extinguished. Your skull, perhaps now part of the towering Tzompantli, stands as a silent testament to your fate. One among thousands. It is a stark, public declaration of Aztec power and piety, a permanent marker in the landscape of their sacred capital. For the Aztec people, these skull racks were not merely gruesome trophies. They were vital religious monuments, symbolizing the collective sacrifice that sustained their universe. Each skull was a silent prayer, a solidified offering to the gods. The legacy of your sacrifice, and those of countless others, permeated every aspect of Aztec society. It reinforced the authority of the priests, who were the intermediaries between humans and gods, interpreting divine will and executing the sacred rites. It legitimized the power of the warriors, who, through their captures, provided the essential offerings that kept the cosmos in balance. And it instilled a profound sense of awe and obedience in the general populace, reminding them of the omnipresent power of their deities and the terrifying consequences of displeasing them. Sacrifice was the bedrock of their social, political, and religious order. Consider the pervasive influence of this belief system. Every sunrise, every successful harvest, every military victory, every newborn child, all were seen as direct results of the sacrifices made. Your death in the Aztec worldview was not a tragedy but a fundamental act of creation and sustenance. You were part of a grand, terrifying, yet essential bargain with the gods, ensuring the continuation of the world for your captors. This deep cosmological conviction is perhaps the most difficult aspect for modern minds to fully grasp. A common historical fact is that the Aztecs were one of the most prolific practitioners of human sacrifice in Mesoamerica. However, a less commonly emphasized point is the spiritual reciprocity inherent in this practice. For the Aztecs, sacrifice was not about punishment or cruelty, it was about giving back. The gods had sacrificed themselves to create the world and humanity, and so humans, in turn, had to offer their most precious possession, lifeblood and hearts, to reciprocate this divine gift and maintain the cosmic cycle. Your sacrifice was thus the ultimate act of gratitude and cosmic responsibility. The ritual calendar, which dictated your fate, continued its precise, cyclical march, demanding new victims for new ceremonies. Your death became a data point in this sacred accounting, a confirmation of the gods' enduring needs. It became a story whispered among priests, a statistic in the imperial archives, a part of the grand, terrifying tapestry of Aztec history. Historians still debate whether the escalating scale of Aztec human sacrifice, particularly in the later periods of the empire, was primarily a response to genuine theological anxieties about cosmic instability, or if it became increasingly a tool for imperial expansion and the subjugation of conquered peoples, instilling fear and obedience through terror. This academic discussion highlights the complex interplay between religious belief and political power, suggesting that the honor of sacrifice, while deeply spiritual, also served the very real geopolitical aims of the Aztec state. Your legacy is also etched in the archaeological record. The layers of the Templo Mayor, continually expanded and rebuilt, contain the skeletal remains of countless individuals like you, carefully placed offerings that speak volumes about the scale and significance of these rituals. The artifacts found within the temple obsidian blades, skull masks, ritual vessels all bear witness to the terrifying honor that defined your final moments. These physical remnants are a chilling testament to the power of their beliefs. Ultimately, your horrifying honor contributed to the rise and sustainment of one of the most powerful empires in Mesoamerican history. While the Aztec Empire eventually fell to the Spanish conquistadors, the memory and impact of their sacrificial practices continue to echo through time, shaping our understanding of their complex worldview. Your story, the story of a human sacrifice, is a crucial key to unlocking the mysteries of a civilization built on blood, devotion, and a profound, terrifying connection to the divine. Now, as the echoes of the Aztec drums fade and the vibrant, yet unsettling, images of Tenochtitlan begin to recede, allow your mind to gently disengage from the intensity of our journey. The vastness of Lake Texcoco stretches out, calm and reflective under the ancient sky, while the majestic peaks surrounding it stand as silent witnesses to centuries of human endeavor and belief. Feel the quiet stillness settle around you, a gentle release from the weight of history. The sun, once nourished by terrifying offerings, now bathes the modern world in its gentle, reassuring warmth. There's a profound quietness in understanding these deep, intricate layers of human experience, a sense of perspective gained. Let the ancient stories become part of the quiet hum of your evening, a gentle whisper from a world long past, inviting you into a peaceful slumber.